Hello, and welcome to the 97th episode of the Friday Nightmare podcast. I am one half of your hosting team, Heather Powell, coming to you today from Waterdown, Ontario, Canada. And with me, as always, is
Mr. Smoke Show Crawford, coming to you from the town of Swartz Creek in the county of Genesee, in the state of Michigan, in the United States of America, in the North American continent, in the Western Hemisphere, on the planet Earth, in the Milky Way galaxy. I'm fully vaxxed, boosted, and waxed and ready to climax, and if you can, please get me wet and feed me after midnight. I'm the man with the not-so-glorious beard, a.k.a. Mother of Cats, a.k.a. the man with the humongous ego, a.k.a. Scott Housen, a.k.a. Scotty Too Hottie, a.k.a. Spanky, a.k.a. one half of the premium podcasting duo, a.k.a. the laziest editor known to man.
we're so premium that we only release once a month. We're not like other shows that may have the term dummies and horror in it that have to try extra hard and constantly come up with new shows. We're so good that we are so privileged that we release like once a month. And this episode is vintage because it's going to come out in 2025. So
Fuck yeah,
all of you who want to remember those 2024s, I guess the good thing with us recording once a month is Scott and I got a lot of movies. And as we know, as premium podcasters, we only pick the finest. I actually sent
absolutely
Scott a gift of 2 raccoons going through trash, and I said that was us looking for movies.
It's pretty accurate. I've become way more picky just because I don't have nearly as much time to watch movies, but I still find I still tend to come across the crap because it's sometimes fun to watch.
Here's the thing. First of all, can we just mention the Scott's had to pick up, 2 cats so far? Or is that the same cat twice?
Oh, that was Poof, the same cat.
Oh, your headphones up, your microphone's up. No wonder I can't hear you fully.
Oh, shit.
Everyone, Scott's back now. I know you thought he was recording from the other room, but no, he's back. He's back.
Wow.
Look, we're so
Should we start that back over, or could you hear it well enough?
I could hear it. It just sounded like you were echoing, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. I wonder why he's echoing so much. And then I was like, oh, shit. It's your call.
We're premium podcasters.
If Tim Davis can run his podcast the way he does, we should be able to do whatever we want, right?
Right.
Like, honestly, right? Or Rob the Hump, truly. You know, Mr. What did he say about we will talk about it in a violent nature later, but what did you call it? In a boring nature walk or something like that?
We'll get to that.
God, that was funny. And then I said the sequel to that was going to be a lackluster date with Rob.
Yeah. from
my POV vision, of course, of me going on a date with Rob, which will be fucking fabulous. We'll do that at your wedding. That can be
I cannot wait.
Hashtag. That's around the time the episode will come out, so it's good. It will be fresh in everybody's head when it happens.
Exactly.
Right. So I booked tickets. I'm hoping that Scott can come up with him and Erica can come up to the Paranormal Circus. Did you watch the video from the website?
That looks interesting.
Doesn't it look wild?
Yeah.
So it's an American, I think, thing, and they have a couple of the legs of the tours. So there's 3 tours. One's happening in Europe, one's happening in America, one's happening in Canada. So obviously I've invited Scott to the Canadian one where he doesn't have to check his guns at the door. So hopefully they'll be able to come up. I'm pretty kind of pumped for that. And in regards to horror, besides, we've been busy. I've been watching movies. Like a good podcaster does, but I've also been traveling. I was out to Calgary and back and saw the Rocky Mountains, which were pretty fucking cool. And yeah, hashtag just living good life. We had Canada Day and America Day where they basically said fuck you to the British. Remember that, Matt Wood. Remember that. Remember who's your loyal bitch. It's me, not Scotty. Scotty's part of those traitor fucking Americans.
Fuck your king and queen.
And Scott's been, I don't know, parenting.
Pretty much parenting and Lots of yard work and trying to not die from the heat and not drown from the tropical rain that we got. And just
Yeah.
been fun.
Yeah, like I don't know. You went to Frankenmuth. I guess that's
Mm.
exciting.
Yeah, I went to the German town in here in Michigan called Frankenmuth and took the boys because they'd never been before. So, but yeah, everything's German. So like the buildings are all like a German style, and the food is all German, and
Do they
just
have
a
a
lot of cool.
Nazi exhibit as well that you
No,
can go?
God no.
They're
But
like, and oh, but we don't have that. No, 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 no,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no, no,
no,
no, no. More
no,
like
no.
I guess you would say more Bavarian style. I
Oh,
guess.
Bavarian. Oh, that sounds sexy. Bavarian.
But
Ooh.
yeah, so we took the boys there, gave them some money to like spend because there's a bunch of different shops and stores to go to, and yeah, we just had a good time and ate lots and lots of food because there's dinner at the where we go. We went to Zender's and we ordered their all-you-can-eat chicken dinner thing, and it was just
Mm,
like sides and sides and sides and entrees,
mm.
and the boys' eyes were just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, going, "This is a lot of food."
But they're like, we're up to the challenge because we're teenage boys and all we do is eat.
Exactly, and it was expensive, but it was worth it because I never experienced that before.
Yeah, what's money, Scott? What's money when you're having experiences with your children,
Exactly.
right? They're like, they listen to this, they're like, what's money, Scott, when we need a new Xbox game?
Pretty
What's
much.
money, as Heather said, when we want this random thing?
Well, when they
And
want something random, it's just, hey, Scott, what can we do around the house to make more money?
oh, hey, I like that. That's ambition. That's
Yep.
ambition.
I was to say, and we'll be like, or sometimes they'll just ask to borrow money. I'll be like, well, I can loan it to you. And then if I think of something that I need you to do around the house, you're doing it for me. Okay, deal.
See, I want little child laborers too. Is that all you got to do, Scott? Is just marry some chick and then make your kids your slaves? This sounds great.
Well, I
Shit.
mean, yeah, well, I mean, you got kids, got to use them.
Oh man, little child laborers. I better work on those nieces and nephews of mine.
Hey,
Um,
you got to start young.
start getting them over and doing housework and shit. Actually, my recent nephew, little Elijah, was born into the world last Saturday. Um,
Yeah.
I waited to post him on Facebook until, of course, his mother did the honors first.
Right.
But I guess I guess I have had a more limited social media presence as of late. I just because there's been some people that have reached out to other people. I don't know, not me directly. So I don't understand why they wouldn't reach out to me directly. But just to squash any rumors that are out there, I have not left Slumber Party Massacre. I was on podcast. I was only away for 2 weeks. Yes, there were a couple people who messaged people in the podcast, not me, but people
Yep.
who know me. And I don't know why they didn't message me. And I was traveling to, well, we all know I went to Europe. I won't bore Scott with
Here we
that.
fucking go.
But also I was in Calgary, and then it was just challenging with the ladies for me to schedule a podcast with them. Same with Scott. And I don't post on social media as much because I'm just trying to get away from doing that. Unless it's promoting something like a place, a thing, or group photos, or my new nephew. So anyway, I had people mistakenly thinking that I had a baby,
Yeah.
that perhaps I had been MIA because I had a baby. And no, that would be a fucking horror movie within itself for me. I love children. I'm actually the guardian to several children in my life, and that's great, but I have no concern or need to have myself my own fucking baby. I
No.
want them pre-done like Scott got. Scott is like, oh, parenting's so easy. I can't wait till I see Erica again. And I'm like, hey, Erica, Scott thinks parenting's easy. And was it easy when the boys were 3 and how many years apart are they? 3 years or 4 years?
3 years, yep.
Yeah, 3 and 6, Erica. Was that fucking easy?
Did I? I never said. You're putting words
You
in my
did.
mouth. I
You were
never
like,
said easy.
parenting's fun.
Yeah, I said parenting is fun, not
right.
easy.
You're
Fun.
right. Fun. My apologies. Fun. I'm gonna ask her the same question and ask how much fun it was when they were toddlers.
And I think her response will be.
I know, she'll be like, we don't talk about those dark times. But you did get the primo. Like, honestly, whatever fucking cheat code you used in life, and now you have 2 teenage boys that adore you and like think you're the coolest shit, which you are. Like, they're not wrong, but you've totally nailed it, Scott. You nailed it. And you get them to be little slaves for you around your house, little child laborers.
Right? It's like it's a double-edged sword because now there's just no quiet time. But that's why I picked up gardening.
No, quiet. Yeah, you have to go outside and hide in the garden to get quiet time.
Exactly. It's my
Oh my
Zen time
gosh.
now.
Oh my gosh. Well, hey, you know what? Worse things. You have again, nothing is more interesting than how much Scott's life has changed over the years. Nothing
Yeah,
in this
shit,
podcast.
just 1 year.
1 year. Well, yeah, like it was starting to change, but definitely the moment you and Erica brought your lives together as one is when
Yep.
things really
I'll
got real.
say, speaking of which, tomorrow will be exactly 1 year since they've moved in.
Aww.
Yeah.
How you guys gonna celebrate?
Probably just go to work and come home and be exhausted like always.
Sounds perfect. Sounds like the best day ever. Let's be
Right?
realistic. Maybe what about that ice cream place? Is that ice cream place still up the street from you? Remember when you're driving out of Shorts Creek and I would say to you all the time we should go to that ice cream place? Is that still there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the
Go for ice
Feather
cream.
and Fin.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Jane's been wanting to go there. So, man, maybe we could.
Yeah, there you go. Celebrate your 1 year with eating ice cream. And be like,
Yeah. This is
see?
my life now.
And tell them they have me to thank. Basically, any fun things that happen in Jaden's life and Connor's life, they can thank me.
I'll make sure they know that.
Right? They'll be like, Heather suggested this. She may be a complete clusterfuck when it comes to remembering movie names or what Scott said or misquoting him, but
Or
she
what year it
suggested
is.
or what year it is. I don't know much, but I do know fun.
You do. I'll give you
I
that.
do. I do. Well, we doubled down into horror movies, so we'll get started. This is the most recent drop on the Shuddy. I don't even think you've watched this yet. Have you watched hashtag Chad Gets the Axe?
I couldn't find it on there, but like I thought it would be up in their featured section. I'm wondering if maybe it's like kind of
Oh,
buried for
I
some
see
reason.
that it's just Canadian Shudder.
Well, that's
Yeah.
annoying.
Well, that's stupid. Though I don't know how much you would like this anyway, because it's about influencers.
Well,
So
oh wait.
you'll hear like depends on the influencer film. Is that what you're gonna say?
I was gonna say depends on what happens to them.
Oh, well, then you would probably like this film. Four social media influencers live stream their trip to the Devil's Manor, former house to a satanic cult, and things don't go well. And the violence ramps up, and so do the views. Scott, are you looking for a film that talks about how people like to be voyeurs and watch people in despair on social media?
Hell yeah.
Then you have the fucking movie. This could also be a subcategory. Social influencers fighting for views and the stupid things they'll do to get them. We could also do this in our awards because there's enough, much like pregnancy horror.
It's true.
Right? So this movie is exactly what it sounds like. It is found footage, and four social media influencers go to a house and chaos occurs. I thought that this movie at an 83-minute runtime was enjoyable. I felt that it is very much a social media influencer film. So you're going to get the annoying influencer personas. If that's not your thing, perhaps skip this film. If you like that kind of stuff, then you may be cool with this. The one that came out last year that was found footage about the guy going through the haunted house, and he was also a social media influencer and had weird shit happen to him. Deadstream.
My number
If
one
you
of
like,
last year.
I would never say this is as good as Deadstream, but I would say that it's in the same camp as Deadstream. So
Right.
to give you an idea for ratings, Duncan McLeish has watched it. He's given it 4 stars. Other people have given it that we know between 1 and 2, Catherine and Kevin Adams. And then David Garrett's given it 4 stars as well. Matt Wood hasn't watched it yet.
Matt Wood.
Dave C's watched it, but he hasn't ranked it. So I would say if you like social media influencers and you like found footage and you're looking for something short and sweet, 83-minute runtime doesn't overstay its welcome. But know what you're getting into here. All the tropes are going to be there. All the stuff we've seen before with this kind of genre. So just know what you're buckling up for. It's apparently only on Canadian Shudder because, well, Americans are traitors. And, we can't share everything with them because they rejected Britain. And Amazon Video, Google Play, and Apple TV. That's totally why, Scott. So we're clear.
It's a good reason. Good reason.
You know what? This isn't even a British film, but somehow the monarchy got involved and they were like, fuck you. You're American.
I
You
mean,
don't
that's
get.
fair because the poor Tim and Daniel, they don't ever get to watch Australian-made movies.
That's true. Well, yeah. I feel like they're banned from the movie theaters, though. They probably tried to get Serbian film played on the big screen in Salo because they're like, "Oh,
Tim,
we're not wimps. We'll play it in the theater." And then,
manja, manja.
manja, 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 like eat pudding, like Tim did when he's eating that
Mm.
scene. Anyway, hashtag
Uh,
Chad gets the axe. It's the newest Shutter release if you live in Canada and maybe Britain, because Matt seems to want to watch it, so he must have it too. So, yeah, I guess, and it's on to the next one.
all right, so yeah,
Sorry.
I'll see what I can remember about this one because a month ago. But this one is Tarot with a 92-minute runtime. Your fate is in the cards. When a group of friends recklessly violate the sacred rule of tarot readings, they unknowingly unleash an unspeakable evil trapped within the cursed cards. One by one, they come face to face with fate and end up in a race against death. So, do you want to watch a movie that feels like a very Blumhouse style movie that is like a poor man's version of Final Destination?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Well, this is the movie for you. Because yeah, that's exactly what it felt like to me. Was this could have been made by Blumhouse, and it was definitely like it felt very inspired by Final Destination, the way it plays out and the fate and all that stuff that they always talk about. And I don't remember there in the synopsis they said recklessly violate the second rule of tarot readings. I don't remember them breaking any rules in
Oh, they
tarot.
do. They do.
Okay.
She doesn't. So you're not supposed to use tarot cards that aren't your own.
Oh, that's right.
Right. And she uses the found tarot cards. And how she does the readings is not, generally speaking, respectful to how readings are supposed to be done. And I don't know. It's just a fucking dumb teen movie. I had a good time with it. I thought it was
Yeah,
silly and entertaining.
yeah. I was gonna say it was silly, easy to watch. I didn't mind it. None of the characters were really that endearing for me, so it was just like, yeah, just I didn't hate my time with it, but it's not something I would really care to rewatch.
Yeah, I have a soft spot for movies like these. It's like my brain candy. It's my let's just turn on something and pretend I'm 16 years old, drunk in some friend's basement watching some horror movie, and that's what this reminded me of. I don't mind the tarot aspect. This is actually based off a novel, by the way. I'm thinking the novel is probably better than the movie. Because I think the premise is interesting. The premise of using tarot cards, and then these particular tarot cards are cursed for a specific reason, and what the fate on the tarot cards say is what happens to you. I actually think the concept's quite creepy, and I think if this movie just maybe paced itself a little bit differently, maybe took itself a little more seriously, it could have been really, really interesting. I know it's
Mm-hmm.
tough when you're dealing with a cursed object to be serious, but it can be done.
Yeah.
Um, I think this was a middle of the road entertaining enough film. I don't know. I've seen so many films that are worse than this. This was what line were we looking at here too? A 92-minute runtime. You know what I mean? Like in and out, wham bam, thank you, ma'am. You need to put something on that's just to like chill out to and not worry about. I think this is fine, right?
Yeah.
Like homesick and you're feeling sorry for yourself, put on tarot. You'll feel better that you didn't make the film. Like there's so many options here, right? So most people have given it a 2. Scott gave it a 3. Dave Bailey gave it a 2.5. Tim Davis gave it a 2. Rob the Hump gave it a 1. Kate gave it a half star. I probably sit at 2.5 to 3. I
Yeah.
kind of was like, why not? Like if it was on TV, I'd probably sit on it if I had nothing else going on and watch it. It's
Yeah.
easy to watch.
Yeah. I'll say it just kind of reminds me of like it gave me that '90s movie vibe. But and I did notice because but this one kind of surprised me. Tammy Taminator Turner gave it 4 stars out of 5.
Tammy, we need to have you on the show because you definitely have different views than we do, and I'd love to hear it. But then again, we're also not shitting on this film.
No.
No, we don't do that. Like we're like, I don't know, it was entertaining. It was an entertaining film, so I can get someone saying 4 stars. All joking aside, I actually can. So if you like that 90s, 2000s, I feel more 2000s, Scott's feels more 90s, like not the main run 2090s, like not like I Know What You Did Last Summer, like kind of the ripoff of I Know What You Did Last
Mm-hmm.
summer. Like if you like that kind of shit, you'll like this.
Yeah.
You know, if you like the ones that were never as big as the other actual slashers but still existed, you'll have a good time with this. Like that video game one. The one where they like get wrapped into the video game in the 2000s. I can't remember what it's fucking called.
Oh, was it called Stay Alive?
Yeah, Stay Alive. If you like Stay
I've never
Alive,
watched that, but I know about it.
oh, you should. It's fun.
Yeah, it's one that I
It's
want to
like
leave.
this.
Yeah, say it's one I want to add to my list at some point.
Yeah, it's like this. Honestly, it's like the earlier version of this kind of movie, right? So Tarot is available on Apple TV, Google Play, Amazon, Microsoft Store, YouTube. If you like what we talked about, rent it. If that's not your thing, then don't fucking rent it. It's not going to make a difference. It's probably not going to end up on your end of your list unless you really like those types of movies.
Yeah,
that would be my thought.
Exactly.
Right? Now, I have the premium film.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do. So we all know from my love of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And for those that you don't like it, you can go fuck off because it's some of the best masterpieces that horror have to offer today. I don't know who would not like a killer Pooh Bear that's angry. It's the best. It's the best. So along came Mary Had a Little Lamb, also made in Britain, just so we're clear.
Here we go.
I know. You know, Scott, Matt Wood's from Britain.
Oh, I thought you were going to say,
I know. You know Matt Wood's from Britain, right?
Uh-huh.
He's in this movie. He played the lamb. Anyway. And they didn't need to do any kind of makeup or anything. That's just how Matt looks.
Wow.
How Matt's going to look when he comes after me. I would deserve it too. So you would. Its fleece was red as blood. His tagline. I know.
For the love of God.
I know. A radio host and her crew sets out to discover the truth behind some disappearances for a true crime show. They will soon learn that there's far more to discover when they meet Mary and her lamb. Yes, Mary and her lamb. Who will make it out alive of this house of horrors? I will tell you right now, I was fucking here for this movie. I thought it was great. So Danielle Scott's in this movie. She has also been in such classic as The Curse of Humpty Dumpty's, Freddy's Fridays, Cinderella's Curse, Tooth Fairy, Drill to Kill. Yes, that's right. Monsternado. So as you can see, she's been in some very, very fine films. I really, really liked this movie. I thought it was a lot of fucking fun. The main chick is from the Nutcracker Massacre, as well as Kill Your Lover and the Easter Bunny Massacre and the Cult of Humpty Dumpty. I like these films. They're so silly, okay? The special effects are practical. So if you like practical special effects, this movie's for you. You have the typical setup. This radio show host is trying to keep things spicy. They go through the woods, they meet this woman, and things kind of go downhill from there. There's some good kills in it. There's a lot of off-screen kills, but not bad aftermaths of the bodies. I liked it. I thought it was fun. It's low budget, but it's not so low budget that it, didn't use its budget well. But go in expecting what it is here. It's a lamb that murders people. All right. It's a lamb that murders people and a crazy lady named Mary. If you go in expecting that and like a very narcissist podcast host like Scott and I, then it's basically me. And Scott is there coming along as I try to do something to save Friday Nightmares.
And I'm going, do I have to add it?
Yeah. And then I send the lamb after you. So Scott says that he's going to watch it, right?
I do want to watch this now. But oh my God, this needs to happen now. Mary Had a Little Lamb meets A24's Lamb. Do it. Make it a thing.
Make it a thing, A24. They're like, oh, that sounds like that's beneath us. There's not enough social messages in it. So this is available on Apple TV, Google Play US and Canada, as well as YouTube, as well as Tubi. That's right, folks. The shit's on Tubi. So you have no reason not to watch this masterpiece that is Mary Had a Little Lamb. If you like Winnie the Pooh and you liked Curse of Humpty Dumpty or Easter Bunny Massacre or any of that other shit, you'll like this. It's fun. Like, go in here knowing the expectations of what it's going to be and just ride with it and just have a good time and choose joy. Rob, Tim, joy, and enjoy the Mary Had a Little Lamb.
and, going from one masterpiece onto the next.
Absolutely. That's what we do here.
A most atrocious thing. With a runtime of 75 minutes. Hang on for dear life. Oh dear, a weekend getaway becomes deadly when bad blood turns a group of friends against each other. This is definitely one of those low budget, it's so bad it's good, but it's one of those where they know they're making a so bad it's good type
Mm-hmm.
movie. But yeah, it's about a bunch of people that go to a cabin in the woods and end up accidentally eating tainted deer meat that turns them into cannibal zombie type
Mm-hmm.
people. And it's super low budget. The effects are cheesy, but I mean, it was fun. I
Mm-hmm.
I kind of bashed it, but at the same time, like I found it fun. It's like only a 5 out of 10 for me, but it's just low budget, something silly, had me laughing at some of the points, and I know Heather definitely liked it a little more than I did.
100%. I thought that it was well made. I think when a movie like this, you're kind of looking at something that's a little more it's low budget, right? And they're
Yeah,
working within the budget that they have. So I would say if you enjoy low budget films, like someone like Jason Gray would appreciate this, right? Dave Bailey as well. I wouldn't recommend this to the average horror fan, and I don't mean that again in a disrespectful way. I just mean that it's something that's an acquired taste, right? Like you really do like when someone says to me low budget and then I watch it and I'm like, this isn't low budget. This is
yeah,
Asylum. They had a budget. Like that's not actually low budget. A low budget is like I took my camcorder with 5 of my friends and I made a movie.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Everyone has a term of low budget. I would say check it out. I think it's available for rent.
Yeah,
Where
let me
did we
see.
see here?
Yep, it's available to rent on Amazon, Apple TV, Vudu, Google Play, and Amazon Video.
So, yes. So, I don't know if what Scott and I said makes sense to you, then rent it. If not, skip it.
Uh,
What do you think?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's definitely accurate. And I will give Matt Wood gave it a whole whopping 2 stars. His review. Unfunny, crazed deer zombie flick made by stoners for stoners. It had some good ideas, but ultimately it was quite boring. If you do watch this, take some mushrooms. 4 deer meat induced vomiting out of 10. Oh, Matt. I do love his
Right.
reviews.
Right. His reviews are sometimes more better than the movie.
100%.
Right. So our next movie is one of the most recent Netflix releases. It is called Under Paris.
Oh, wait.
Oh, right? No? Yeah.
Oh, yours must be different list than mine, because
Oh, I was looking at Letterbox. That's why. Sorry, my bad. I saw the TV glow.
yeah, this one is one you watched. I have not seen.
Oh, yes. I saw the TV glow. Let me go back to I saw the TV glow. Very different movie than Under Paris. So the two companies, let's see if I can remember the two filming companies that were involved in this one. I feel like it was a IFC film.
I think it was A24.
Or was it A24? Let
me
me
see.
do a
I'll
quick
look.
Google. Let's see. Silence.
Yeah, I'm looking too.
Right? As we try to look it up. I could have swore it was IFC. Either way, I'll let you continue to look it up and you oh yeah, no, you're right, A24. So yes,
Oh.
it's an A24 film. So I feel like whenever you watch an A24 film, you know you're walking into something that has a strong social message. Always. And this movie is written about a transgendered person's journey. Now, it's not a transgender person in the movie, but it's very much a metaphor for it. And that's not a spoiler because I think that, you would have to watch the movie to get what that means. This movie is not something that you can put on and lightly watch casually. This is a movie that you need to put on, focus in on, and watch the entire thing through. It is extremely well made. I did enjoy the journeys that the characters go through in this. The coming of age of it, the challenges in it, and the acting in it is quite good. But it is slow. It is built on character development, it is built on metaphors, and it is built on the A24 weirdness that we have all come to know and love. So if that is something that you would be interested in, then I would say watch it. If not, you may want to skip this. And people who like this movie are going to give it 5 stars. people who don't like this kind of stuff are probably going to give it 2 or 1 star. That's just the reality, right?
Right.
So you can find this film on Apple TV, Google Play, Amazon Video, Microsoft Store, as well as Cineplex. Again, if you enjoy metaphoric movies as well as a lot of dialogue and what could be perceived as light on horror but is actually a different kind of horror, kind of reflecting on the coming of age of somebody and the horrors they may experience, then this would be a movie for you.
Okay, because the one reason I never bothered watching this is I watched the trailer. It didn't really interest me that much. Then I seen the director and the director's name, and I'm going, that name sounds familiar. So I looked it up, and they did "We're All Going to the World's Fair," which came out in 2021, and I did not like that and found it
I
so
remember.
boring and confusing. So I was like, nope, I'm good. I just won't bother with this one.
I don't think you need to go watch this one, I'll be honest with you. If
Yeah.
this was old times where you had nothing else to do with your time, I would say to you, sure. But
Right.
your time's limited. This is not going to be on your list. I know it's not. I know it's not going to be anywhere near it. So, yeah, it's not going to be on mine either, just to be clear. I think it's an exceptionally well-made movie, and if someone had it as their number 1 film of the year, I would totally get it. It's just not. I found that it was paced too slow. And I find that with A24 films. I had the same beef with Lamb. Like, I thought that movie was very interesting in what it explored, but I found that the pacing of that just fucking dragged.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just dragged from me, right? So,
Yeah.
like, it all depends. It all depends on the film. But you saw this one, which was, I'm assuming, much more fast-paced.
It had its moments. It still was pretty slow too, but
Really?
Yeah, the next one,
Okay.
yeah. The next one that I'll talk about, Eric and I watched this a while ago, but it's Alex Garland's newest film, Civil War. 109-minute runtime. Welcome to the front line. In the near future, a group of war journalists attempt to survive while reporting the truth as the United States stands on the brink of civil war. And yeah, like most people would not call this horror, but this is our reality damn near where it's at now. And yeah, that's just fucking terrifying. I could, especially with what has just happened over the weekend. I'm not going to get into it right now, but with the assassination attempt, yeah, this is going to be this could be our future. Yay.
No, it's a good thing you live close to the border and you can come to my place for asylum.
Exactly.
Or is it asylum or whatever it's called?
Sanctuary.
A sanctuary, yeah.
Yes, thankfully, because this hit home a little where I'm going.
I'll sponsor you guys if needed.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a really well done movie, but yeah, it definitely kind of got under my skin a little bit. With there's like one character that these characters get pulled over, and I'll just say this line, but it's in the trailer too. But they're like, "We're Americans," and he goes, "What kind of American?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's where we're at now." But yeah, like Alex Garland films, it's well directed, well acted, beautifully shot. Kirsten Dunst is in this, and she's basically just kind of an angry, seen everything horrible in the world because she's a war journalist, so she's just seen awful things, and yep, it has made her basically just cynical to the world, and like kind of shows what war photojournalists go through when they're like in the midst of everything, because their weapon is their camera. They don't actually have a weapon, and they're like in the front lines, like with the people with guns, trying to get the better shots to show the world what is truly happening and stuff like that. And yeah, there was definitely some slow moments. It became more of a road trip movie for a bit there, but like I'd say for the first part of it and towards the third act, like shit ramped up, and it was pretty wild. But I do like, if this is too political and you don't want to see this type of movie, I completely understand. I also would understand people not calling this horror. But to me, I found this to be a very fascinating, well-done movie that also got under my skin.
Excellent. That's a good way to break it down.
Yeah, and this is available to rent on Apple TV, Google Play, Vudu, Amazon Video, and YouTube. Sexy Matt Wood reviewed it, and he gave it 3.5 stars and goes, "Yeah, this was decent enough. Interesting idea. Well shot and well acted. Some of the scenes were quite brutal. However, there was something lacking for me in the story. I know photojournalists take risks, but this was quite ridiculous." But
that's because you live in Britain, Matt. If you walked once into America, you would believe it. That's why.
Right.
Yeah, that's why. No, you haven't been here. I've crossed your customs. Trust me. It's nothing. It's nothing like being in North America.
You live a sheltered life.
Basically, European customs, as I've learned, just fucking high five you as you walk through. If you're from Canada, United, I'm not kidding. Canada, United States have, like, when I went to France, I walked up and there's like a bunch of countries, Canada and United States are included, where you have pre-clearance. So you just walk up, show them, and they give it back to you. They stamp it and they give it back. No questions, no how long are you staying, nothing.
Oh, wow.
They're like, yeah, go. Yeah, bye. We're not worried about you.
That.
Right?
But...
You go, I try to cross over to see Scotty, and they're like, are you sure you're not bringing apples?
Yeah. Or, what are you leaving behind? My home, my family, my dog,
right?
my cat.
Like,
what do you mean? What am I leaving behind?
I'm leaving everything to go see my friend for the weekend.
It's like, what the fuck type of question is that?
Yeah, it's great. Nothing's better than crossing the Canadian-American border.
Right.
Longest border in the world, most similar countries in the world, and we have border officers that are sometimes just very, very attentive, we'll say.
Yeah.
Attentive. We'll use that word. Attentive.
Over attentive.
But honestly, well, that's funny. That's it. And anyone else watch it, or besides Maddie?
There's a bunch of other people, but I don't like. I'm not sure of who they are. They're not on the podcast. Like, at least.
Oh, well, they don't matter
we're
then.
Friends with.
Fuck them. We don't care what they think. You're not a premium podcaster. We're not interested in your opinion.
Well, you don't have 100 downloads or less.
What? Fuck. Who are you?
Yeah,
actually, the less downloads you have, the more premium you are.
That's
right?
What I'm saying. You don't have 100 or less. You're nobody.
That's really funny. Is it available for? It was in the theaters, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was a theatrical watch.
Okay.
But then, yeah, it's available to rent. I had said that earlier.
Oh, did you? Okay, I wasn't sure if it was a theater watch or not.
No,
it was in the theaters.
No, last time I went to the theater before what I'll talk about later. Was
Thanksgiving. Oh, okay. No, okay. But it wasn't. It was.
Yeah, it was a theatrical movie.
Okay. I lose track sometimes. Sometimes movies get released, and I don't know they get released because they get like a release for 5 minutes, and then they're like out of theaters again, or they're in there forever. It's weird.
Yeah, I try to keep up with that as much as I can, but it gets tough.
It does, right? Well, this next one is the opposite of what Scott talked about. It's about marijuana and grow farms. This is called Trim Season.
I still want to see this one, damn it.
Yeah. So, if you're looking for something different, this is different. If anyone's like, I'm tired of the same old fucking horror tropes, this is different. A group of young people go to a remote marijuana farm where they hope to make some quick cash, but they discover the location's dark secret and now must try to escape the mountain on which they are trapped. Matt Wood also watched this movie. He gave it 3 stars. I'm not going to read his review because it's kind of spoiler, so I'm not going to do that. But I would agree with 3 stars. Basically, it's a group of people go up to this marijuana farm. They meet the person that owns it, and things are not as it seems. And you have these teenagers that are trying to survive some events, which may or may not be paranormal, but are really fucking creepy. So this is sitting at a 100-minute runtime, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think it's something different. I would probably put it in my top 20 in terms of well-written, good kills, great characters, great character development. There were certain people that you definitely got behind and you were sad when something happened to them. Bex Taylor-Klaus is in this film. She was in the Scream series, the television series, as well as Hellfest. She was in that movie as well. So,
and I think Alex Esso is in this too.
Yes, Alice Esso is in this movie as well.
And she's from Starry Eyes and a lot of those good horror films. And one of your favorites, I can't remember the name of it, but it was where she met up with the old woman that was lonely, and they were playing like the dating game, the dating board game, and stuff like that. Whatever movie that was, way back,
shit,
like a couple years back.
Yeah,
but I remember you loved that one.
Yeah, shit, that was a long time ago. That's wow. Yeah, no, she's great. She's really. Oh, was that Death in Me? No, something else. But she was also in Death in Me. But yeah, she's great. Oh, Homewrecker.
Yes,
Homewrecker.
That's what it was.
Yeah, that was really funny. That was fucking hilarious. Oh, Homewrecker. Anyway, I forgot about that one. But yeah, this is a good movie. If you're looking for something different, I would say any horror fan could enjoy this. I think some people might be like, oh, it was good, but not love it, and some people might love it. It is available on Vudu, Google Play, YouTube, Spectrum On Demand, and Amazon Video. I would say if you're looking for some 2024s to watch, this is one that I recommend that you check out, and it is called Trim Season.
Hell yeah. Yep, this is one that I plan on watching very soon, just because it sounds up my alley.
Booyah, it does.
And yeah, speaking of up my alley, here's one that we can all talk about, and I'm sure agree with a bit. This is the Netflix original Under Paris.
Scott, you know I've been to Paris, right?
Oh, for fuck's sakes, here we go. Let me get through the synopsis before we get
I
to
was on the bridges.
Swear to God.
Yeah.
It's got a 104-minute runtime. Watch out before. Wow, that tagline's terrible. Watch out before swim.
That sounds definitely like it was translated from French, does it not?
Right? Yeah. The synopsis is: in order to save Paris from an international bloodbath, a grieving scientist is forced to face her tragic past when a giant shark appears in the Seine. Yep, this is a French shark attack film, and yeah, happens in Paris. Go ahead. We know you've been to Paris now.
I'm in Paris, and I was in the area where this was filmed. I
Nice.
saw all the spaces, and I walked up and down that river, and you wouldn't swim in that water. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Spoiler, no shark's going to survive in that water, just so we're clear, everybody. I just want to make that clear.
And I was like, anything that has any major city that has a canal like that, you don't want to swim in those waters.
No. But I will say that I'm pretty sure they filmed it somewhat recently, because Paris, when I was there, was getting ready for the Olympics. So I'm pretty sure they just ripped off some of the stuff that was already being set up for the Olympics, and they were like, oh, shit. This is great.
Totally is a possibility.
Right? And I will say the other thing about this film is the catacombs do go down that deep.
Yes.
That's not wrong, and Paris was flooded at one time.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some slivers of truth in this ridiculously over the top shark film.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, and yeah, speaking of the movie itself, yep, ridiculous and over the top is definitely. I had a fucking blast with this.
Mm-hmm.
The characters and the decisions they make are so fucking dumb, and the activists I just wanted the worst possible shark attack to happen to these dumb activists the way they were acting.
Oh my gosh. Like, and the thing is, none of the stuff they were saying was wrong.
No,
like they're all right.
The way they were acting.
It was just so like, I don't know. It was silly.
But man, do we get a freaking bloodbath with this movie. It kind of gave me Piranha 3D vibes with the level of violence that happened.
Fuck yeah. I would agree. That's a good comparison.
Like, this is definitely one of the better shark movies I've seen in a couple of years at least. I don't know if I'd say it's the best movie since best shark movie since The Shallows, like Tim Davis said, but
well, he's not a premium podcaster, so
he has 101 listeners, so he can't be premium.
No, they have too many listeners. They're not premium when you have a Patreon.
Exactly, they have a Patreon. That's saying something right there. But no,
right.
I had a blast with this, and it's on Netflix. I recommend just checking this out if you like shark films, because this one is definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is a great summertime, turn off your brain, enjoy kind of film. I would say one of the best shark films in a while is A Low Bar, even to say after The Shallows.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we went through a stage there where there was some excellent ones, and then, you know, we got silly. This kind of reminds me of more in the field of the Meg. It really doesn't take itself that seriously. And it has lots of different ridiculous scientific explanations and big words and other shit that's thrown in. But you know what? I was fucking here for it. And the third act, chef's kiss. Like, I loved that ending. I rewatched it just to watch it for another time because I thought it was so well done. I did feel like there was an environmental message here at the end.
Oh, definitely.
And I'm here for it, to be honest. I thought it was pretty legit. And at 104-minute runtime and on a Netflix, if you're paying for Netflix anyway, I would say watch it. You're not going to regret it. You don't even have to be a big horror fan. Well, unless you're Rob Humphreys, who gave it 1 star. He obviously regrets it.
Yeah, he was not a fan from what I remember.
I don't know. I think when you go into a movie like this, Robert, you need to just like not take it seriously. This isn't a movie that I walk into thinking I'm going to have like a serious film.
And this is the guy that liked Ouija Shark.
Oh, I didn't know he liked Ouija Shark.
Oh yeah, that's how him and I started bonding. We both had a soft spot for that dumb movie.
I guess, though, in all fairness, that had no budget. This had a
Yeah,
budget. So for him
true.
to shit on this one, I can at least get that. But I don't know. It's a Netflix. It's a summertime fun movie. If you're looking for something to watch before Paris starts the Olympics, which will be soon, I don't know. It'll probably be done and over by the time Scott releases this. But
You're
the
not wrong.
Olympics will be like, the people will be like, but the Olympics happened. This is September.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, you can check it out on the Netty anytime. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, okay. So the movie is that we're talking about is The Strangers, Chapter 1. Anyway, so on to the next film. All right. The Strangers, Chapter 1. They don't need a reason. No, they don't. And you don't.
You don't need a reason to make this movie, apparently, either.
Right. After their car breaks down in an eerie small town, a young couple are forced to spend the night in a remote cabin. Panic ensures as they are terrorized by three masked strangers who strike with no mercy and seemingly no motive. So I can appreciate that they got Madeline Petchar. Is that how you say it? Petchar? Redhead. She was in Polaroid, which actually was a really good movie. Polaroid was great. She was in Sightless, which was also a good movie, but she's also been in Riverdale. You know, yeah, she was kind of annoying. Not a bad actress. And then her boyfriend was also equally annoying. So you have two unlikable people that get themselves into a situation where they need to stay in this really nice Airbnb overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And chaos begins. So if you recall the original Strangers movie from 2008 with Liv Tyler, and I can't remember who the guy was in it, but Liv Tyler is the only one coming to mind right now. You're familiar with the plot line. So,
Yep.
you know, I don't feel like Scott and I can really spoil this because not that I'm going to go into great detail, but if you've seen the original Strangers, you have an idea of what this film is about. This film was not a shot for shot remake. It definitely tried to add to the scenes.
Yeah, like I've heard a lot of people say like that this was like damn near shot for shot. I'm going, no, it wasn't necessarily shot for shot, but you're watching this going, what was the point of remaking this? Because it just feels like we've already seen this. It's nothing new. It's nothing exciting. And what they do just isn't as good as the original. Because, for one, there were creepy music cues when the strangers are hiding, like standing in the background, where it's like, oh, this is where you're supposed to be scared. Doom.
Yeah.
Where in the original, there is no music. It's just you pan and you're like, wait, oh shit, he's behind you.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. And this was just totally Hollywood bastardized this, basally.
You know, I liked the piano scene. I thought it was interesting. She's playing piano.
That was good.
Right? And I get people like the reason they're at this cabin or this place is very different from the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll give a spoiler for the 2008 why they go there. So they go to the cabin or the house. It's a friend's house because they're at a wedding. He proposes. She says no. They end up at the house together.
Yep.
So there's none of that in this one.
No.
The setup is basically like, oh, our car broke down and my boyfriend's kind of a dick to the locals. And now we're going to have to kind of stay in this house overnight. And we're going to lead on like we're going to have sexy times, but we never fully get to have our sexy times. Like, it's
And just the biggest. Okay, I'm trying to get my thoughts on this because it's just the first 20 minutes is just like, oh no, we're in a small little country town. Of course, the country folk don't like the city locals. They're gonna be giving them weird stares, and then the city boy's gonna be cocky right back to him and be all super asshole-ish. Oh boy, this isn't a trope that's been done a million fucking times. Like,
I think that's a good example. And what I thought they were doing here is I thought this was a prequel. Yeah. And I thought, well, maybe it's a prequel to the original. And it's trying to show how they became this and why they do this. Which, you know, give or take, some people might be interested in that. Some people won't be. But I feel like that's a good place if you want to continue the franchise, is how did the strangers come to be?
Right.
And then you have the first two movies, because we know there's going to be two more. that lead up to a remake of the 2008, or maybe the 2008 from the perspective of the strangers, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we film it, but it's them and we're seeing what they do, the perspective of the killer. I don't know. I still don't quite get the purpose of this.
Yeah, this just felt pointless.
And I had George watch this, and I regret that because he's like, this was horrible. I'm like, no, the 2008's better. But I feel like he doesn't trust me anymore on that because, you know what I mean? Like, and it's hard now to go back and watch the 2008 after watching this one because it's already kind of given the gag up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so if you watched chapter 1 first and then went back to 2008, yeah, it's ruined.
Right?
But now it's like, and the character decisions in this, Jesus Christ, they were so fucking dumb. Like, little minor spoiler, but when the whole "is Tamara here" scene happens that most people will know about, and the girl is by herself, she freaks the fuck out. And then what does she do? Goes and grabs a goddamn joint and gets high and starts listening to music. It's like, you just, okay, yeah, sure, get high when there's someone creepy walking around the house outside. What the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah, I think that's a really good, what the fuck were you thinking? This is a 91-minute runtime. I don't think it was the worst movie in the world. I just didn't understand the purpose. I'm hoping the second 2 chapters provide some kind of clarity. And maybe once they all come out, I'll understand the purpose. And maybe it will make more sense. And I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and say that maybe this was just the appetizer that wasn't really that good, and the main course and the dessert are going to be much better.
I sure hope so, because this was just blah.
And maybe you need to see the other 2 to make sense, but that's like maybe the other 2 makes this make sense, right? But that's a dangerous game to play as a director and a writer, because if you don't hook people within that first movie, they may not come back for the sequel. They may not come back for the third. And we've seen movies like, I know Lance isn't a big fan of this, but I liked Escape Room 1 and 2. I don't think we're going to see a third. I don't think they did well enough with that second one where they can come back. Right. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
I'm looking up the budget of it right now because I'm kind of curious. The budget was $8.5 million, and the box office is what I'm looking up now to kind of compare to see how it did. It grossed $35.2 million out of the $8.5 million budget. So I was wondering if part 2 and 3 would go straight to VOD because it did poorly, but it sounds like it did well enough in theaters to go. The other ones go to the theater, so.
And I feel like some people will still put it out in theaters. Like, they'll still be like, no, this will be better.
You're right.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess we can just move on to the next.
Oh, and it's available on VOD. YouTube, Microsoft Store, Cineplex in Canada. It's basically Amazon. Anywhere you want to rent it, you can rent it. Apple, iTunes, Apple Store, or whatever. So the next one is Killer Body Count. So this is a Tubi original. So it's on Tubi. So it's free.
Tubi.
Mistaken for a sex addict by her devout father, Cammy is sent to an isolated rehab center. But when a killer begins to hunt the teens, Cammy realizes that her survival and her independence are intertwined in ways she could never imagine. This is a fun little slasher. It's, you're looking at a bunch of teenagers. They're at this camp for people that are sex addicts, which none of them are really sex addicts. They're just young people who...
They're teenagers.
Want to fuck. There are sex scenes in this, but they're all very, very like PG-ish. You're not, which is fine. Like, it's not something that necessarily takes
0 out of 10. Not going to waste my time now.
Right. Well, that's true. If you're like, I need to see that, then you will definitely be disappointed. But I found that the acting was good. I thought the plot moved quickly. I thought that there was enough little red herrings of what the deal was, but at the same time, you still could kind of figure shit out. The parents are all kind of assholes. There's a social message, but it's not really that hard hitting at all one bit. This is good for Tubi. If you're looking for a slasher that's entertaining, free, and young people being young, dumb teenagers, you'll like this shit. It's called Killer Body Count on the Tubi. Check it out.
All right. Yeah, that's one I still planned on watching. I just hadn't got around to it yet.
It's fun. You should watch it. It's a fun little film.
Now, speaking of fun little film.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Let me pull the synopsis up. We're talking about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
Fuck yeah, we are.
Got a 93-minute runtime. The tagline: "Friends will gather to take revenge." The synopsis is: 5 months following the murders, Christopher Robin tries to return to his regular life while dealing with his PTSD. Deep within the 100-acre wood, a destructive rage grows as Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, Owl, and Tigger find their home and their lives endangered after their existence is revealed. So if you were a fan of Blood and Honey, the first Winnie the Pooh,
fuck yeah,
you definitely need to watch this. This has a much larger budget. The effects are so much better. The gore is fucking awesome. Some great kills. And the addition of Owl and Tigger just add to this ensemble, and Tigger is very mean and vicious and has one-liners that when he spoke them, I went, "Hey, that's Jackie Earl. That sounds like Jackie Earl Haley from the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, playing as Freddy Krueger," because that's what he reminded me of.
Right, I would agree. I don't think it was him though.
No, it wasn't. It just sounded like him. I'm like, hey, that sounds like him a lot, especially with the lines like saying "bitch" and shit like that. But yeah, this was a fucking blast. They actually built up on the story even more. They tied into the Pooniverse. At the end, they give you some nice little teases of what's to come. So I cannot wait for all these movies that are coming out with like Bambi and Peter Pan and what was the other one? Pinocchio. So I am here for this Pooniverse thing, and I cannot wait to see where it goes. This movie was just a blast. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Well, we know how I feel about Winnie the Pooh, the original, so the OG, which I love, and I love the campiness of that one too. I think the campiness is a lot of fun. You never forget where you came from. I thought this film was what I fucking thought it would be going into it. I did enjoy the original more, but I feel like that's just me. I liked the first one. I always love that ending scene in the first one. I think it's so fucking powerful. But I loved this, and I loved how Owl looked. I thought Owl was fucking creepy as shit, and I loved like Piglet and Pooh and all the fucking standoffs they had. And I know they got a new actor for Christopher Robin, but it didn't really fucking matter. It's fine that it wasn't the guy from the first one. It really
was a
didn't
new
matter.
actor?
See, you didn't even notice, right?
Yeah, I did not.
Yeah. So I thought that it flowed really well, and I liked that Christopher Robin like kind of fucking stood up for himself and fought back kind of thing. I loved it. It's fun. Like I think this is a fun fucking film, and the carnage was great. The special effects are great. I am here for the Pooh universe. I was a Pooh follower before it was cool to be a Pooh follower.
Same.
I stand by Winnie the Pooh. You and I stood by it. We were stood by Blood and Honey. From the beginning.
Right, we did.
All right. So
yep, and we're getting this is paying off in dividends for us because this was just a blast, and they've already announced Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3, and I think that's where it's going to be like everything starts to assemble with all the other people in the universe. And I can't wait.
I can't wait for it. This shit's on Amazon, and it was also filmed in England, where I've been.
Of course, you had to add that in there.
Actually, Matt and I made this movie. I played Owl. Matt played Pooh Bear.
I did love Matt Wood's review.
I know. His reviews are the best. You want to read it?
Yeah, he said pretty much the same as the first, but with a bigger budget. Some decent kills, but the story was a bit shit, and it was located in England, which made it all a bit weird. And who the fuck goes to a rave dressed like that? Let me know.
Me, I go like that. That's how I dress when I go to raves, Matt. So if this is worth it for you, I would say pay whatever money you want to rent it. If you like the first one and you like slashers and you know what you're walking into with Winnie the Pooh, then watch it. If you hated the first one, you probably shouldn't watch this. You're probably not going to all of a sudden like this movie.
Well, I'll say Tim Davis, I think, thought first one was like a 5 out of 10 mediocre, and he gave this one like a 7 out of 10. Like he really.
But that's because he's been listening to premium podcasters like ourselves, and he's been learning, right? Like he's basically understands that he's an apprentice, and he's learned from our knowledge.
He does have the male Australian version of you on his show, Luffy, who has been championing Blood and Honey since the beginning too. So
That Luffy, he's a smart guy.
and he does all the editing and he gets the shows out on time. It's impressive.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like me, I just show up and I'm like, Daddy, make it happen. Make it happen.
Come on, do it.
Come on, Daddy. Well, another Tubi. Look at this. It's like you broke up with Tubi, and I'm all about the Tubi.
Yeah, what the hell is going on with this shit? I gotta talk with. I have to have a talk with this Tubi.
Now, this is another social media movie, but I really liked this one. I like this more than hashtag Chad gets the axe. So this is called Clickbait Unfollowed. Social media can be killer. A group of influencers are invited to a house for a competition. Later, do they only realize the deadly consequences of the competition? So you already know when the setup happens here that there is going to be some fucked up shit that's going to happen. This is a low budget movie that didn't have tons of money to put into it. They probably spent all their money on renting the house that they used for this film.
Fair.
But they did have some decent actors in it. We had Melanie Scarfano, who's been in movies such as Ready or Not, Saw 5. She played the sister in Ready or Not, the Silencing Conspiracy. We also there was Catherine Barrell, who was in Lake Placid, Scare House, which I guess isn't that well known. Lake Placid.
So I was saying Scare House, so that was fun.
I liked Scare House. I thought Scare House was entertaining. I want to see where the guy was from, if he's going to come up. Oh no, I can't find his stuff. But they're the main guy, the main protagonist. Oh, Roberto Kyle. He's quite good. I really, really enjoyed him as the main protagonist in this film. And there was some really kind messages in this film. And I really like, there's a speech that one of the characters give, and I think that it's actually quite authentic. And you feel for a couple of the characters towards the end, and you don't want anything bad to happen to them. Where this film lacks is there's not a lot of on-screen kills. There's a lot of aftermath of kills. There's a couple of on-screen kills, but there's not tons. So that probably had a lot to do with budget. So you take what you can get. But I thought the props were good. I thought the acting was good enough from the people that were in it. And the movie's entertaining. And for a 90-minute runtime on Tubi, I thought it moved well. Will this be in my top 20? No. Will it be on my social media awards? Quite possibly. I thought this was social media done right. I thought it really did represent the influencer culture. And I thought the main character was quite endearing, to be honest with you. Nice. I really, really liked him. And that, to me, I enjoyed. And this is a free watch on Tubi. So if you have Tubi and you're looking for something that's social media themed, influencers, and you don't mind a little bit of a lower budget, Clickbait Unfollowed may be a movie that you enjoy.
All right, yeah, this is one I remember you talking about, and I heard a couple other people talking about it, so I added it to my list. I just gotta get the time to watch.
Now, this next movie is a movie that Scott needs to watch.
Yes, I watched the trailer with Erica, and we're both like, "Okay, this looks good." Just gotta have some alone time for this one. If I remember correctly.
Yes, it's the sex scenes in this are extremely revealing.
Okay, so yeah,
like you're basically watching two people fuck.
Okay, so yeah, definitely.
Speaking of Erica, right? So you would definitely not be wanting to watch this at work. You cannot watch this at work. I will tell you that right now. So Kill Your Lover. This is a low budget film. I'm going to start off with this now. It's 77 minutes in length. A toxic relationship body horror with a punk edge. Perfect description. When Dakota tries to break off her toxic relationship with Axel, it starts transforming him into a monstrous creature. He gradually succumbs to the poisoning and decaying relationship, becoming a creature with increasing aggression and a touch that melts skin, and worst of all, he's contagious. This movie will probably be in my top 5 of the year.
Nice.
I thought it spoke the Heather language. We're talking metaphors. We're talking, poisoning, someone being toxic relationships, how they poison. And if you like body horror, this is where they put their money. Not a big set for this one. It takes place in one set in an apartment. Not a big set. You are looking for good acting and two characters. You got two characters that carry this entire film. There's a couple of side characters that come in, but the relationship between these two feels so authentic. I don't know who did the casting, but you definitely get the vibe that they connected as characters. You feel empathy for characters. You're angry at them. I know Matt said this isn't very good. I'm sorry, Matt. I disagree with you completely. This was an extremely well acted, well written, excellent special effects. If you were here, I would actually have you explain to me how this isn't good. And that's fine if you didn't like it. Like, don't get me wrong. Not every movie's for everybody. There's movies that are out there that are excellent that I just don't enjoy. But this, right. I am sorry, my friend. This is a good film. You may not have liked it, but this was made fucking well for what the budget they had and what they worked with and the plot line of it. It was excellent. May not be for everybody, and that's cool, but it's definitely a good movie. Now, he said that the main characters irritated him. That's fair. They're not affable for everybody. Stories about a toxic relationship, I could care less as the characters aren't likable. That's definitely a personal preference, which I respect.
Yeah, I'd say, well, and that would make sense if you don't like the characters, right. You're not going to be behind the relationship.
I won't read the other part, but I think the toxicity physically appearing is explained.
Okay.
And I think if you're maybe been in a toxic relationship, perhaps Matt has never been in a toxic relationship. He seems very happily married. But I think for Scott and I, who have had our share of toxicity, we would get the metaphor pretty quickly on what they're trying to communicate. So that could be something too. If you haven't had that experience, perhaps you may look at this movie through different eyes, which is a very fair statement. But yeah, I can't praise this movie enough. If you like this kind of stuff, if you like that metaphoric horror, if you like body horror and single location, you know what this reminds me of? We Need to Do Something.
Nice.
Right? Okay. So this reminds me very much of the setup of We Need to Do Something. Simple set, lower budget, but using its budget in a condensed area and focusing on relationships. Like if you hated the characters and We Need to Do Something, you wouldn't like that movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think this is very much going to depend on whether you like the characters or not. And Matt, we will bring you on this show one day and you and I can debate this film because I really want to hear why you think it's a bad movie. If you didn't like it, that's cool. I get that. But I want to hear why you think it's a bad film.
And I will sit back with my arms crossed behind my head and just have a nice cold drink of a brew and be like, this is nice. I'm not in the firing range on this one. This one's nice.
Well, he's allowed to have a different opinion. I'm just curious why. Yeah, he is.
No, he's not. No, Heather.
I just don't know if the statement of this isn't very good is fair. That's all. Because I do think it's good. It's just I think it may not be for some people, but I don't think it's a badly made film. But that's okay. He's okay. Duncan didn't like it either. Duncan gave it a 1.5 stars, and Dave Bailey hasn't watched it yet. So I guess it's all going to depend on the person, but this was definitely a Heather film. 5 out of 5. Loved it. It is available on Apple TV, Google Play, Vudu, YouTube, Microsoft Store. Again, there's a lot of metaphors with this. It's focused on two people and their conversations and their relationship. If that is not something that you think you will like, actually, I don't think Tim Davis will like this too much, but I think Daniel would.
Okay.
Right? Like that's because I think Tim's just so happy and has a beautiful wife and he doesn't understand what it's like to have toxic shit. I feel like Daniel's seen his fair share of crazy. So I feel as though he could kind of engage in this a little bit differently.
Yes. But this one, the next one up is, oh boy. I'm in the crosshairs on this one for quite a few people. So the next movie we're going to talk about is Nature, ASMR. I'm sorry. In a Violent Nature. With a runtime of 34 minutes, or 94 minutes. I wish it was 34 minutes. Nature is unforgiving. Yes, because you're just sitting there watching someone walk through it the entire time. Anyways, synopsis is the enigmatic resurrection, rampage, and retribution of an undead monster in a remote wilderness unleashes an iconic new killer after a locket is removed from a collapsed fire tower that entombed its rotting corpse. So this is definitely one that's going to be very divisive amongst the community, kind of like Skinamarink was, because this is a slasher movie a la Friday the 13th, definitely inspired this heavily. But it's through the perspective of the killer, so you're watching everything through his eyes. They're watching everything through his eyes, supposedly. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so that's unique concept. The execution failed for me. When it says that's supposed to be like they've promoted this as perspective through the killer's eyes, except for when they wanted to get better shots. It was not, because there were scenes where all of a sudden it's like it's not through his eyes anymore. Let's all of a sudden bring it out and do a third person pan and all of a sudden we're in a camera rotating between all the teenagers around a fire talking, but there is no Johnny anywhere to be seen. So yeah, like it's through his eyes. No, it's not. It's partly through his eyes. The rest you needed to have in the faces of the teenagers and whatnot to give kind of a story, or this would have been really boring. This was still boring to me. There is, I will say, beautifully shot, well made. The prosthetics and everything they used were great. Some of the kills were fucking brutal. In fact, one of the kills was definitely in contention for most brutal kill of the year for me, or whatever that brutal. It involves a meat hook. We'll just say that much. But yeah, this movie just did not work for me. Like, it was awesome kill, 15 minutes of nature ASMR. And everyone knows my take on ASMR. It is grating to me. If I wanted to listen to nature, I'd go fucking walk in nature. I would not watch a movie based on it. But then it'd be 15 minutes of nature, brutal kill. 15 minutes of nature, a little bit of story. 15 more minutes of nature, brutal kill. And then 15 minutes of nature, third act, reveal events, then 10 minutes of a wasted ending to me that just made me go, really? This is how we're ending it? Yep, this is a 2 out of 5 film for me, or a 4 out of 10 for me, because if they would have done something with that ending that I liked more personally, it would have been at least a 3 out of 5. But the way it just kind of ended like that just pissed me off, and I was just like, nah, fuck this, I'm done.
I definitely liked it more than Scott did. So did Tim and Matt Wood. So all of a sudden, look who just became 3 best friends. So I see where Scott's coming from, 100%. I think that, again, this is going to depend on how you view movies, what you like, what you don't like. I do think this is an interesting concept. I think forever we've talked about what would it be like to see it from the view of the killer. And so because of that, you do see a lot of downtime or travel time, I guess you could say, commuting from one kill to the next. I thought that the uniqueness of it is what made it good. So I can get where people like Skinamarink because it was unique. I don't think you can recreate this movie over and over again and it have the same effect. I think this is an approach that works for a one-time movie.
Yes.
And much like Skinamarink had its fans, I think In a Violent Nature has its fans. Will it be in my top 10? Quite possibly. It is right now. I thought the kills were exceptional, which I think everyone can agree on. There was some really good kills in this film. I got the ending. I understood the third act. I got there's a lot of metaphors at the end, which is fine. And it's filmed in Canada, so I have to like it.
Of course.
Ontario specifically. It was actually filmed in the place where I go hiking all the time a little bit, and I was trying to figure out what scene was filmed there, but I wasn't able to do it. It's a good movie. It's a good movie if you like a perspective from a killer, a lot of what would the killer do when they're not killing, and what is it? Yeah, but I agree with you. They switched the perspective. That is a very good point.
It's just like you didn't follow your own rules.
Yeah.
I get where found footage does it to me.
Yeah, and I think I can totally, like, your critique of this is 100% fair. I think it's a well-made film. I would say that they put, like, Skinamarink was, not as well-made, but it was creative. This is creative, and either this creativity is going to hit with you, or it's not going to hit with you. And for me, it hit. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the kills. I enjoyed the concept, but I do think it's a one and done. I don't want to see another 25 films come out and try to be like this.
God, if every slasher film comes out like trying to copy this, I'm done. I'm done with slashers.
Yeah, like this is a one-time thing. I don't even see a sequel to this because I don't see how you can do something different unless you like, I don't know, you just, it builds on this specific character and what they do, and there'll be the set group of people that want to go out and watch that, and that's fine. But then it loses its individuality. And you loses its uniqueness, right? So I credit it. I think it's great. I think it's quite enjoyable, but I do understand that it's going to depend on what you like.
Yep, 100%. Right? And I've been scrolling back. We talk a lot, so I've been scrolling back through our conversation trying to find when I was telling you about this movie when I was watching it. Because, and this is one of the things I said. I'd say it's at least worth checking out, but people say Lord of the Rings is a movie about walking. No. This movie is about fucking walking.
That
it's
is
like
not
watching
wrong.
Jason on his downtime walking to his next kill.
That's exactly what it is. And that's, if you like that, you'll like this movie.
Yeah. And if you like ASMR.
Yeah, I didn't pick that up at first, but you're right. I guess it's trying to absorb you in the atmosphere, right?
Trying to put you in his shoes, and you're like, you're hearing the crunching of the leaves and stuff like that as he's walking through, and you hear the birds chirping, and you hear the wind rustling through the leaves. It is definitely nature ASMR. Now, trust me, I fucking love nature. I love being out in nature. But I'd rather be out in nature than watch a movie about it.
Very legit. This is available for rent on Apple TV, Google Play, Vudu, Amazon Video, and sorry, YouTube. To say YouTube? Yeah, Apple TV. Yes. So I don't know. Take what we said here, take it or leave it. It's up to you. I enjoyed it. Scott did not enjoy it as much.
Nope. As much as I bashed on it, I do have to say this is one that everybody that's especially trying to watch 2024s needs to watch, because this will either be in your top 10 or you will dislike it. But it's one of the divisive films of the year. This is my Skinamarink.
It is your Skinamarink, not mine yet, because I liked it. I'm with the cool kids. We'll see what happens, though.
I don't know. I'm with the cool old man, Mr. Rob Humphreys himself.
Now, that's true. You got Rob on your side. What did you call it? A boring nature walker.
Yeah, boring nature walker.
That's funny. That was really funny. Well, you got the next one, because I have not watched this one.
And speaking of not funny, oh boy. The next one is The Coffee Table. 91-minute runtime. Jesus and Maria are a couple going through a difficult time in their relationship. Nevertheless, they have just become parents, and to shape their new life, they decide to buy a new coffee table, a decision that will change their existence. That's basically like the first 5 minutes of the film. That synopsis right there. And oh boy. Trying to think of how to word this.
Heavy?
Tim Davis is the one that mentioned this for the first time. I'd seen like posters of it and stuff like that, but Tim was the first one to watch it that I had heard, and he was talking about, like, I think it's his #1 film of the year. Like, it's, but he says at the same time, it's like it fucked him up heavily to the point where he actually had a nightmare about this and things like that, of that nature.
Oh my God, what a wimp.
So I had a feeling going in what to expect, just because I know Tim pretty well. I won't say what it is, but this movie is fucking heavy. Very heavy. This is one that's going to upset a lot of people, and one I cannot recommend to a lot of people because of the subject matter and the material of what is going on. I told you about it because I know, like, you can make the decision if it's something you'd want to watch. I tried to avoid spoiling it, but I just gave you a heads up, like, this is very fucking heavy. But it is very well made, very well acted, very uncomfortable and awkward, and just like, and the thing is, it is, I'd say 80% dialogue. Like, it's a lot of talking that's going on, but it's so uncomfortable because you know what has gone on or what is going on, and it just makes it even worse. And yeah, this was one of those movies where, the one and only movie actually, where Erica said, "Nope, I'm out. I cannot deal with this topic," and she walked out. So it's one that I cannot really truly recommend, but it is one that it's like, well, if you want a movie that gets under your skin and affects you, this is a watch for you for the 2024 movies, because this is my gut punch of the year.
Oh, well, I believe you, not Tim. Tim's a wimp. He couldn't even get through Solo.
Well, even Bill Casanelli, he
really
said, like, holy shit, this movie is fucked up.
Okay, well, that says something too.
Yeah, like this is a very heavy film, and I'm trying to pull it up right now too. But yeah, it's a Spanish film, so it's also subtitled. But it's available to buy and rent on Amazon, Apple TV, Vudu, Google Play, and Amazon Video. And yeah, Tim gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Matt Wood gave it 3 out of 5. I think that's not Tim Walker. Who is it? Brandon Young gave it 4 out of 5. So yeah, there's a definite mix of reviews, but only one person really gave it a bad review.
All right, well, I look forward to it. I look forward to being fucked up.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for you to finish watching it and let me know what you think, because
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be tempted to be like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
No,
you'll know me. You'll know if
Yeah.
I'm bullshitting.
Yeah, I'll say I think this one will definitely kind of hit you a bit.
And then I'll be calling up Tim. I'm like, I have nightmares about it too, Tim. How did you get past it? He'd be like, maybe you shouldn't have been a bitch, Heather, and told me that I should have toughened up. How much is this phone call to Australia costing you? And why are you calling me at 2 a.m? So yeah, the next one is I watched this in the theaters. It was a theater.
Oh yeah.
So the next movie we're going to talk about is The Exorcism 2024. So just when you thought Russell Crowe wouldn't be in another Exorcism movie, he is. The tagline for this one is, they were making a cursed movie. They were warned not to. They should have listened. A troubled actor begins to unravel while shooting a supernatural horror film, leading his estranged daughter to wonder if he's slipping back into his past addictions or if there's something more sinister at play. So, okay, Russell Crowe's in this, and so is David Hyde Pierce. So we've got two pretty good actors in this film. And this movie is basically about making an exorcism film and then the film being cursed. Okay. So basically what happens is what you hear, Russell Crowe gets this part. And Russell Crowe's a really great actor. Like, he plays this down on their luck actor who gets into this film. And I would say the first 2 acts of this film are really strong. If you're burnt out on exorcism films, this first 2 acts will make you be feeling like, holy shit, this is so much better. I like this so much more. It's different. It's coming at this from a different lens. So it's coming at it that we're making this movie about this demon, and then this shit starts to happen within the movie.
Gotcha.
And then the 3rd act happens. And I don't know what happened in this 3rd act. I understand the ending, but it just seemed like it kind of got cut short. It's like they ran out of money. It's like they were like fucking like, and I know that you don't always film movies in order, right? Like, you film movies as scenes make sense for where the set is that you are. And I don't know what happened here. I don't know the reason why they chose the ending that they did, because this movie was sitting for me at about a good 8 stars. And then it dropped down to like 5 because I was just like, so the first bit of this movie is really, really good and unique. And then the ending, I was like, what the fuck happened here? So I am interested if you watch it. You could easily watch this at work. It's nothing that's, there's no inappropriateness in it besides, like, I don't know, there's some drinking and stuff, but there's nothing that's overly inappropriate. It's a 95-minute runtime. I'm interested if you watch it to hear your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Rob is giving it a 0.5 star. Tells you how much he liked it. But I definitely need some more people in the community to watch it for me to really get an idea on if I'm too upset about the ending or what the case may be. But I enjoyed the 1st and 2nd act and the buildup of the idea of working on a cursed horror movie set.
I like this concept more than The Pope's Exorcist, which I didn't even bother watching.
Oh yeah, you didn't miss much. That was not something that I would say you need to go out and watch. I would say yeah. Like, check it out, Scotty. I'm interested with the concept. It is different enough that at least cool to see what you think. So Apple TV is where you can rent it. Same with Vudu, Amazon, Microsoft Store as well. So those are all options for if you are interested in seeing this film.
All right. And so yeah, we can jump on to the next one that you and I both watched.
Yes.
This is Shana Night Shyamalan's, I think, feature film. So M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. That is The Watchers. 102-minute runtime. Tagline, let them see you. A young artist gets stranded in an extensive, immaculate forest in Western Ireland where, after finding shelter, she becomes trapped alongside 3 strangers stalked by mysterious creatures each night. Yeah, this was a interesting film, to say the least. Like it just,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of how to really talk about this film, because it didn't make that big of an impression on me.
Uh,
So I'm trying
yeah.
to remember.
See, it made an impression on me. I can start if you want.
Yes, please.
So this movie was a Heather film. This movie starts off with a metaphor right away. The bird in the birdcage is a metaphor, everybody, for everything throughout the movie.
Yep.
So
That's true.
I did enjoy the bird in the birdcage, the reference to reality television, the reference to being voyeurs.
Yes. Okay.
Right? And voyeurism and how that tied into this film. This film is also based in Ireland.
Oh, here we go again. This is why she liked it. Now I know.
Which I've been to.
That's it. I'm done. That's it. Yeah.
And the watchers in this are fairies. That's not a spoiler, by the way. It's a folklore, and it's made pretty clear early on in the film.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you've ever watched any kind of Irish film, you know that fairies is a popular belief in the Irish culture. And that they're not nice fairies. This isn't fucking Tinkerbell. This is the opposite. And I really enjoyed this film. I loved the symbolism. I loved the metaphors. I loved the reasoning. Oh, yes. I thought this film was fucking fabulous. I loved the twist. And the only thing I didn't really love is the telltale end. Like the last 5 minutes I thought was stupid.
Fair.
The choice that the antagonist makes, I couldn't quite understand.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
But yeah. This is a Heather film. So when I say this is a Heather film, if you like metaphors, if you like symbolism, if you like, we live in a society of voyeurism, and this is what voyeurism, and we're looking at a different way to explore it with using folklore, this movie may be for you. If you do not like those things, this movie is not going to be enjoyable. Like, it's not bad in a creature feature kind of tune, but the creatures you do see some stuff and they are kind of cool. But it's a long creature feature film.
Yeah, I was going to say this, like I told Heather when I watched this, I'm like, you're going to like this. And it would not surprise me if this will be in your top 10. But for me, I thought it was just very mediocre. And you know me, I'm a folklore nerd. I love that type of shit.
Yeah.
But it almost felt like this came out in the wrong decade with the whole people obsessed with reality TV show type stuff. I mean, yes, people kind of still are, but not those reality type of TV shows anymore.
I don't know. Love Island's huge still. Like,
I've never even heard of that.
Oh, so I have some streaming services, and Love Island is fucking reality TV is still alive and well.
Maybe that's why I'm just kind of disconnected and dissociated from like what is just playing on regular TV nowadays.
Do you have cable?
No.
Okay, that's why. Yeah, that shit's still alive and well.
Okay, then that explains it.
So it was The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, all that shit's still going. Oh yeah, Married by First Sight and other shit like that. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm wrong then. I've just been so disassociated.
No, you just have better taste. That's all.
I've avoided that. So okay, so it is still relevant. I just felt like I'm like, this was like 10 years ago. What the fuck's this? But,
no, I think it could have worked 10 years ago too, right? I think the folklore was kind of sprinkled in there. They're like, oh shit, it's in Ireland. Fairies! Like, I think that's kind of what it felt like it was. I felt like the lore of fairies was so watered down. It was like...
Oh, it was.
Oh, by the way, this is what fairies are. Oh!
Let us give you a quick description towards like after we reveal what they are.
Yeah, like it was like, oh no, voyeurism. Fairies. Okay, they're the creatures. Woohoo! Like it wasn't. Yeah, it definitely I would say was a definitely weak spot of the film for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so this was definitely not a Scotty film. Like I didn't hate it, but it was just it was just mediocre. Like the majority of Shyamalan's films for me, like they just they're just above average. Not anything to write home for me. Like a few stand out, but not as often.
He's just an average Shyamalama ding dong for you.
Exactly.
his ding dong's okay, but it's not the best ding dong.
And I love the ding dong.
And you had a lot of experience with ding dong, so like it's really says something, right? So it depends. If you find that when you listen to this show, you side more with Scotty and his taste, you probably not going to love The Watchers. For the 3 people that exist in this universe that follow with my taste, then you may like The Watchers. Again, that's the best way to kind of describe this.
Yeah, because so far everybody that I follow, it's either 2 stars or 3 stars, and only one person that has a 4.5 star.
And one person with 5, which is me.
Well, I never know yours because you never actually post like your star review, so I know,
but I tell you on the show, sure. So that counts, right? That counts. This movie is available on Apple TV, Google Play, Amazon, Cineplex, and YouTube to rent. As I said, if you side with Scotty, don't rent it. If you side with me, rent it. If you side with Scotty, wait for someone else to rent it, or wait to take it through other methods that you may engage in, like borrowing the DVD from a friend.
Yeah.
Nudge, nudge.
Borrow.
Borrow. DVD. And Blu-ray.
VHS.
VHS.
Laserdisc.
Like actually a film projector with the reel in your house.
Film canister.
We go through all these fucking ways that you can watch this movie. But that's legal. Wink, wink.
And you cannot forget about HD DVD. Remember when that was like HD versus Blu-ray?
Oh, that's right. Get all of it. All of it. That's the only way to watch it legally. The next film is on a Tubi. It is called Invited.
This was another Tubi?
This was, Invited, 2024. I told you to watch. This was the Zoom one.
Oh, shit, I was thinking the click on, the other one was the one that you were telling me I needed to watch.
No. Well, yeah, you get to watch that one too, but Invited is on Zoom. So if you were a fan of Safer at Home, or the one that came out where they did the seance on the Zoom, I can't remember what it was called.
Host?
Found footage. Host. Then you'll probably like this film. It's very, very similar. If you didn't like those movies, then don't watch this because you're probably not going to like it. When a reluctant mother attends her daughter's Zoom elopement, she and the rest of her family in attendance quickly realize the groom is part of a Russian cult with deadly intentions. This movie is very, very low budget, truly low budget, okay? But I found the acting in this movie, particularly from the mother, quite endearing. The mother is a recovering alcoholic. And throughout it, you hear the digs from her family about the situation and how helpless she feels as they're watching this, what they think is a wedding, and how things go.
Okay.
I was working, and it got to the point where I had to stop working and watch the last 20 minutes because I couldn't look away. Now, I know that another friend of mine has watched this, and she did not enjoy it, and that's fine. I will warn and say this is very low budget. Again, this is filmed just on Zoom. It's builds tension through interaction. There's no over the top gore or anything like that. You're just following the family dynamics and what they see happening and that sense of helplessness. And I think, I've gone through periods, same with Scott, where we talk to each other virtually.
Yeah.
And we have other friends that we've had game nights virtually through Zoom. I live a lot of my life on Teams through virtual work environments. And I don't know what I would do if I was on camera with Scott and something started happening to him or his family. And I was witnessing it and I was trying to call the police. It would be traumatizing to seeing it, but being able to do nothing about it.
Right.
Right. And I have, I have several friends overseas that I video chat with as well that live in England, that if something were to happen to them, I'd be even more helpless. Like at least with Scott, he's 4 hours away across the border. I could generally speaking Google the police call and find out what happens. When you have friends on the other side of the world, I could call, but it's going to take a lot longer for me to get through. It's still that helplessness. So I think that's why it hit me the most. Is because we have so many virtual friendships. Like even we think of Tim and Daniel in Australia. If we were ever podcasting with them and something happened to Tim, it would be the most helpless feeling ever.
Right.
Like where you physically can't do anything. So I think that's where this movie hits home for people. It may not be for everybody. It is a 70-minute runtime and it is on Tubi. And I'm looking forward to you watching it because I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, it sounds like I need to jump back on Tubi and just kind of binge watch because there's been a few that I've missed now.
Yeah, like this is definitely, again, it's not going to be for everyone. Jason Gray, I think you should watch this. I do think Tim and Rob and Daniel and Dave Bailey could all watch it too because I think they have a lot of virtual friendships as well. Right. And I think if you put yourself in the place that if you were watching something happen to someone who you cared about and you could do nothing about it, how disabling that would feel.
Right.
Yeah. So it's on Tubi. It's for free. It's called Invited.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, I will definitely have to watch it then and give my thoughts next time we record. So the next film I watched. Oh wait, no, I didn't.
No, I didn't really watch it. No.
Was The Not So Quiet Place Part 1 Experience or chapter? Yeah, Day 1 Experience. So Erica and I should say Erica on a whim was just like, hey, let's go to the movies. I'm going, all right, the boys have been fed, they're gaming, we can have like a nice little date night. So we chose Quiet Place Day 1 and got to the theater, and there was only 3 of us in the theater. I was like, all right, perfect. So got our big old tub of popcorn, got a big old
which looked delicious.
Got some candies. We're like, yeah, this is gonna be great. So we sit through the fucking 40 minutes of advertisements and
40?
trailers. Yeah, the showtime was 8:30, 8:40. The actual movie did not start until 9:20.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so
that's a delay, huh?
No, there was advertisements and all.
That's what I mean. Like, that's a delay between when you go into the theater and.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous now.
That's ridiculous, yeah.
So I didn't mind watching all the trailers, but at some point I'm going, all right, this movie can start any time now. But
yeah,
I'd say we got maybe 15 minutes in, and these younger group walk in. I'm gonna guess between the ages of 17 and 21. Like where they basically still look like babies to me.
Babies.
And they go all the way to the back, and of course it's quiet place. So, really quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And you start hearing them giggling and talking, and it's like, okay, that's annoying. But whatever. Keep watching the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Then 2 of them get up, run down the aisle, run out, talking about it's too scary for them, so they're trying to leave. And then they come back in. But when they come back in, they decide to sit the row right behind Erica and I and only a few seats away from us. And they start talking, and they're all girls. And the girls are like, oh, this is too scary. I believe it. So they get up and run out again. And they're talking the entire time. They are not even thinking of being respectful, like not even whisper talking. They're blah, blah, blah. There's like straight up talking. Then they get on their phones and have it on speaker.
Oh my God.
And start just chatting away to whoever it is. We got maybe a half hour to 35 minutes in the movie, and Erica and I are just like, fuck it, we're done. We just grabbed our shit and we walked out of the theater. We talked to the manager and just said, can we just get a refund, please?
I'm surprised you guys didn't go down and talk to them.
Like to the
to the kids. Yeah.
Oh, it's in Flint. You never know what type of experience you'll have.
That's fair. This is American movie theater. Valid point.
But I did, as we were walking out, I did just kind of yell out, next time you're at a theater, make sure you learn to stay off your damn phone. And I walked out.
Did they say anything?
They didn't say anything, but it was during a quiet moment. So they heard me. But we get out, we get a refund talking to the manager, and he's like, I'm so sorry. He's like, I can get you guys in for another show time or whatever. I'm like, unfortunately, we have kids at home, so it's like we can't really stay later. But we'll come back at some point and try to see it again because we like your theater, and I'm just unfortunate crowd that you have here. Unfortunately for tonight. They end up sending the security guard in after we tell them about them. And as we're leaving, we see at least 2 of them getting escorted out, or at least walking out of the theater. So we're thinking they actually got kicked out, which I hope they did because they were being so disruptive. But it just sucks because, that last time I went to the theater was to see Eli Roth Thanksgiving. So we were excited to finally have a little date night. And nope, that had to happen and ruin the moment. I mean, we still got away, still got to eat some popcorn and, still enjoyed ourselves up until that moment. But so Tim Davis, I'm with you on the theater experience now. That shit pisses me off.
That's really a shame. That really shouldn't be allowed that kind of
No.
behavior. Like, you know, it's funny because in a Canadian movie theater, I would have walked up to those kids and I've been like, you need to get off your fucking phone now. Because I wouldn't be worried about anything happening to me. Besides the kid being like, oh, fuck you. I'd be like, oh, yeah, oh, fuck me? How about I'm going to get you the fucking kicked out of this theater? How about that? Like, what I really want to say to a young kid who's lippy to me, be careful, watch your tone or I'll go fuck your dad and become your new stepmom. I really do want to say that one day, and I really hope I get the chance to. But like, yeah, that's a shame, Scott. Like, that really is a shame. And I'm not going to say it's young people nowadays. I knew people like that in our age category that were assholes like that too. And they've just grown up to continue to be assholes. It's just assholes at any age, you know?
Yep, it just seems like they're just more and more more and more knowing what the rules are, but blatantly disregarding them and ruining the experience for others.
I don't know. That was happening when we were young too. I remember people.
I mean, there was, but I think these have made it even worse.
Yeah, yeah, and I find that even people in our age group too, right?
Oh yeah. But in Flint, this theater, I have had experiences like this before, but thankfully it was at movies where they're louder and it's not lots of silence going on, so you couldn't hear it, and I could easily ignore it. Because it happened with me and Justin when we went and seen Nope. Happened Justin and I when we went and seen Pearl. That just disrespect, and they're all around that same age. Disrespectful, being on their phones, talking, like not giving a shit. And I think it's just, it's
a shame.
that, and I think it's that area more than anything, because I've never really had that experience in Grand Blanc.
Well, they are American.
Yep, and I'll say in Flint.
Yeah, there's a poverty structure that comes with that too, right? Though I don't think poverty
no, it's not.
I don't think poverty allows disrespect, but there's got to be something.
No, I think it's just the attitude that a lot of Flint people have.
But why?
Now, I wouldn't say just the way they were, like where they grow up. Like it's like, just I think, just the environment you're around. Not like anybody in particular. It's just like the environment you're in can kind of affect how you act if you grew up there.
Fair enough. Bunch of fucking assholes.
Yeah.
If The Quiet Place happened, they'd be all dead. I should think about that.
100%.
Finished, right?
But yeah, when I seen the movie, I would really like to see the rest. It was getting very interesting.
You didn't feel like the topic was done? Like it had its time in the sun?
Oh, it definitely had its time in the sun, but at least it seemed like it was going with a different story. It wasn't going to be the same. It's not the same family.
Okay.
We're following different people during the day one events.
I feel like the families are going to meet up, though. You know that, right?
God, I hope not.
They're going to be like, and then everybody came together.
Well, and at least in this one, the character had a cat and not a screaming fucking baby.
Well, yeah. I'm not a big fan of the Quiet Place movies. I think they're okay.
Yeah, I'll say they're enjoyable.
Yeah, like they're okay. And I would say they're great films. It's just they're not necessarily for me. I like it a little more loud, Scotty.
Oh, I know you do.
I do. So that concludes our 2024 films that we've watched so far. I am at 91 movies.
I think I am. Let me get to my list real quick. I am exactly at 60.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope you break 100 by the end of the year.
Oh, I've been close to about getting 10 each month, so I should be at least at 120. I'm hoping.
Oh, there you go. There you go. That's too bad.
So that's my goal.
That's a good goal to have. Well, I've managed to watch some older films. That list is really low. My list of new movie first time watches is only 15 this year.
I've only done 7 so far this year.
Yeah. So, and one of them that I'm going to talk about today is Beneath, 2013. And the biggest reason I'm going to bring this up is because it is directed by none other than Larry Fessenden.
Yeah, Larry Fessenden, yep.
Fessenden. So most people know him from a variety of different films. The Wendigo. Where else? Is this one that he directed? Oh, he directed Wendigo. Did you know that?
Yes. Yep, he's directed a few, but he's also in damn it.
I know, I can't remember any of his fucking movies.
We Are Still Here. The
I'm
ghost
switching
movie
over to actor. Killer of the Flower Moon, You're Next, The Dead Don't Die, We Are Still Here, Southbound, Session 9, The Battery he was in, Jacob's Wife he was in as well. So yes, we managed to sorry, Larry, we took a second there to remember. And Maxine, he's in Maxine as well.
Oh, nice.
Security guard, yes. So anyway, his movie Beneath. So this movie, it's about a group of teenage kids who go out to a lake, and there's a killer fish in the lake. All right, they're in a rowboat. They row out into the middle of the lake, and there's a killer fish in the lake. And this movie isn't overly great, but it is all practical effects. So the man-eating fish is a practical effect fish.
Nice.
So it's hokey, but yet entertaining all at the same time. I actually really liked how the fish looked. The characters on this boat are not likable. None of these teenagers are overly likable. They all end up kind of being dicks in the long haul, but it's entertaining, the hierarchy of how they go through, of how they're going to survive this situation. Basically, it's isolation horror on this lake in a rowboat with this deadly fish, and a series of events occur that they lose their paddles and they're stuck trying to figure out how they're going to get away from this fish that keeps like ramming into their boat and other shit. It's really like, it's honestly a great summertime fucking film. It's so simple. It's not complicated. It's nothing over the top, but it's fucking entertaining. It is a 90-minute runtime. It is called Beneath. It is available to rent. We have it on a Good Friends Plex. If you and Erica are looking for something to watch to just turn your brain off, honestly, it's easy. It's easy,
All right.
and the fish is hilarious. Like, you will die at this practical fish. It's funny. And it's
Nice.
available. It's on for everyone else. If you have Prime, it is available for free on Amazon Prime.
Okay, perfect.
And
Yeah,
I think he seems to be a good director. This movie seems to flow.
Yeah, I like pretty much. I try to give anything as a chance when I see his name in it, because I like him a lot.
Yeah, he is cool.
But yeah, I did not watch any older movies because I've only watched a total of 7. But
and you're too busy reading like a nerd.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm bringing the book knowledge because I'm a bookworm lately. So I'm bringing 2 books to the table for this time around. One I'll just talk about real quickly, but I finally read Stephen King's Pet Sematary for the first time. Yeah, that was very
well
well done. It was really good. It is definitely detail ridden like a lot of Stephen King's work is. He, goes into great detail about a lot of things. Few minor differences that kind of worked and kind of helped the plot along, but also, I could see why it got cut from the movie. But like Judd Crandall actually has a wife that's alive and well for a little while of the movie, but she has she's elderly and ends up dying partway through the book, and it's just kind of like, I think the first time that Ellie, the Crandalls, or not the Crandalls, but the main character's daughter experiences death from a human. So like it's kind of like her introduction to that, and just kind of builds on that more when, the tragic thing that happens to Gage happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, there wasn't like a whole lot of differences. It did give a little more reasoning behind why Judd had told him about the pet cemetery, and yeah, because the movie is just kind of like, why would you tell him about that?
He's like, oh man, your cat died. Oh, let me tell you about the pet cemetery.
Yeah, like first he talks about, like, you don't want to go there. It's a terrible place. Oh, yeah. Well, your cat died here. Let me show you this. But like, yeah,
does it help explain the prequel? So the prequel movie, his wife is in it. Judd's wife is in that movie because it's before they get married. Do you find that the book, like that prequel, is maybe trying to help explain the book a little bit more, or no?
I think it kind of just latches onto the story that Judd tells in the book about his first experience with someone coming back from the pet cemetery.
Okay.
And I think it just expands on that story. Like they took that and just kind of built something new off of it.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a really good read, and first Stephen King that I've read this year. So it's good to get back into the master of horror, because I have a bunch more of his books I want to get to at some point. But then I did another indie horror author, because the Books of Horror Facebook page that I'm on does this thing around this time of year called the Indie Horror Book Brawl, and it's kind of like your
the Indie Horror Book Brawl.
Yeah, and it's kind of like March Madness bracket style. So they pick an indie author who just released a book in the last year, and they put them up against each other, and whoever.
Ooh, I like this.
And it's their idea is to get these indie authors more attention and get more people to read their books, and just help promote them more. And yeah, like this whole Facebook group just kind of goes nuts with this brawl, and like everybody starts trying to hunt down the books or find them on Audible, find the physical copies or whatever, and start reading them. And I've read a couple of them already off the Brawl list, like Beta, and I think one of the other ones I talked about. But this one is free on audible.com. At least it was. I don't know if it still is, but it's called Devil's Creek by Todd Keesling.
Okay.
The narrator definitely took some getting used to because he almost sounded like an old man where none of the characters were really old men. So it just, his voice took a little bit of getting used to, but once it got about halfway, yeah. Like the audiobooks live or die by a good narrator. The guy's a good narrator, just like his voice is a bit distracting. But I will say when it got to the halfway point, like I was hooked, and this book is amazing. Because it's about this back in the 90s, I think it was, a cult in the woods had this preacher was basically built a cult of followers that was worshiping like this other deity. And he would sacrifice children to this god, but they would be his own children. So he would have sex with all of his other congregants and produce offspring that he would sacrifice. So these people find out about it and basically raid this cult and kill the priest and, rescue 6 of his children that are all from different parents. And then it jumps 25 to 30 years later into the present, and you're following the story of these kids as they have grown up and become adults, and they have to come back to the town for one reason or like the other ones, all of them except for one still live in this town, but one of them comes back and they're kind of is like this meetup. Well, then things start happening where the priest comes back to life. And he starts rebuilding his cult with sinister powers that kind of corrupts others when he touches them and turns them into his followers. And it goes a total horror movie route and just gets really dark and creepy, and a lot of fucked up shit happens in it. And yeah, like I say, Bob, halfway through this book, I was just hooked and just wanting, like, I would sit in my car for a few minutes after I got back home, just going, all right, want to keep listening, wait till a good point to stop.
Oh, that's the best when you're that into it and you don't want to stop listening.
Yeah. So yeah, this is Devil's Creek by Todd Keesling. I'm not doing it justice with this review, but I'd say it's definitely one of the better independent books I have read this year. Like right up there with Beta. Awesome. So if that book and Beta get put up against each other, I'm gonna cry because I don't know who I'd choose. Which one I
love
would
that
choose.
It's like book wars. I think that's super cute. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, and the authors have fun with it. The authors will like talk shit about the other authors and make memes of each other and shit like that. They're all friends and they just start trashing each other.
That's cool.
That's cool. Because the authors are actually in this group as well.
Oh yeah, right. Like that's fun. What a fun thing, huh?
Yeah.
Look at you I've been in these books. Huh?
Yeah, and I've gathered up I think 10 more of the books that are on this brawl. So I'm gonna start diving through them. A lot of them are short, only like 3.5 hour long audiobooks. So I was like, oh yeah, I can burn through those in like 2 days.
Yeah, it's amazing with audiobooks, right? I've been reading. I do all self-help ones. So one's about surviving narcissists. And that's interesting, if you enjoy narcissism stuff. I do have the Final Girl support group that I will start listening to.
Yeah, that one's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I feel like that I'll have. Oh, you probably talked about that one on the podcast already, though.
Yeah, I don't remember if I talked about that one or if I just briefly brought it up, but it was like one of the first books that got me back into reading.
Yeah, for me, it's Audible because I don't read as much as I should. I'm not great at it. I think being dyslexic doesn't help.
No,
because it is work for me to read. But I do enjoy it. I do think that the movies you make in your head are so much. If you're able to do that, I've recently learned about a disorder where you can't imagine things in your head, and so
that'd be rough.
Yeah, this person was talking about they don't like to read fantasy because they can't imagine anything.
Wow. Yeah, I would not be able to do that. That would destroy me.
Right. Well, we couldn't be able to watch half the fucking horror movies that we do.
Right.
We imagine them being better in our head, and then we come back and review them. We're like, it wasn't that bad. No, it wasn't that bad. We swear it's okay. You guys should all watch it. Mary Had a Little Lamb was great. But we'll be back again, and I guess hopefully a couple of weeks. I don't know. How's your July and August looking? I know you got a big birthday next weekend, but
yes, I'm not too sure if we got anything crazy after that. Maybe try to take a couple days off here and there for the last hurrahs of summer for the boys or something. But
when do the boys go back to school?
I think like August 20th-ish, somewhere around there.
Oh, that's early.
Yeah.
Gross.
But they get a lot of breaks in between that are extended compared to everybody else.
Yeah, well, good. Kids should get breaks. It's a lot learning. Learning's not easy. It's hard.
No.
It's hard. It's hard to learn.
It's hard. Hard to do.
Right. Well, that means that hopefully we'll be around because I don't really have anything super major planned. Like, I'm not going away anywhere until October, where I go back to a place that I've been before. England. Because I'm going to go watch a band. One of my favorite bands. I actually moved my flight so I could go early to see the band.
That's cool.
Seriously. They better announce that. They better be like, and Heather from... Actually, they do. Every time I go places, they're like, Heather from Canada. Like, it's really impressive. You know what I mean? Who doesn't get those reactions? Americans.
True. Very true.
And then I want to do a tunnel tour. Go underground.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, right? We'll see if I make it out. But the paranormal circus is the big one. Hopefully Scotty can come up for that with Erica. I think we would have a good time. Depends if you can get childcare and dog care and
yes.
all your commitments.
Life has become a little more difficult in that way.
Fucking all these anchors, right? So especially Little River. How's River doing?
Oh, he's doing great. He's a big old ham.
A fluffy bum.
Oh, and he's just full of energy, though he is now in the every stuffed animal you give me, I will destroy and rip out its guts within an hour.
And so proud, right? Like, proud when he's like, I fucking killed it.
I killed it. I ripped out the squeaker. Oh, Dad, why are you taking the squeaker away from me? Oh, why are you throwing that away? Oh.
How's he doing with his little winky? Is he still his winky where he walks around all the time looking like he has a secret?
Yeah,
I love it.
I posted a picture on Facebook today. Like, you should look at it because it looks like he's winking at me while he's.
Oh, I'm gonna go do that right now. I'm so bad with Facebook now. Like, unless it's stuff that, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I rarely.
You don't post much.
Yeah, I don't post or interact much. I just kind of scroll like a creeper.
He's so cute, babies. Right? Oh, your garden, you fucking nerd.
Damn right.
Oh my God, your fucking garden.
I'm proud of that shit.
Oh, I like the picture of you and Erica. That's nice. And the popcorn. Though the first thing I saw when I looked at that picture of you guys at the theater was the popcorn. My eyes were like this. I was bulging out like.
Well, that was one of the main reasons besides taking a picture for Erica and I, that was another reason I made sure to get the popcorn bucket in there because Tim Davis had not seen an American-sized popcorn bucket. So I was like, I got to send this to Tim Davis.
I love this picture of you two from Frankenmuth, huh?
Yes, I love that one.
You know what? I think I'm going to download that photo and put it on my digital photo frame.
Aw.
Yeah, I have pictures of you guys on my digital photo frame.
I was saying I have ones of you and George, so.
You should.
Yeah.
Fuck, my picture should be fucking right in the middle of the hallway.
I mean, you have a couple on the living room wall, you and G.
And Heather we trust for movies. What was that movie you were gonna make Erica watch and you were gonna tell her I said it was good and it's really horrible. Fuck, I can't remember what it was. I guess you decided that you valued your relationship and you didn't want to take the chance of something happening to you.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is, but yeah, we're in the process of the wedding, so it's like, yeah, I just don't want to ruin that now.
No, you wait till she says yes, and like I do, and then you're like, baby.
Then she's trapped.
I got something for you, and she's gonna be like, what?
Then I'll make her watch movies like Were Deer and.
Oh yeah, baby.
She's in her craft room right now, and I just heard her go, "Fuck that."
Tell her that we have to watch the sequel to Quicksand. It's coming out soon.
Heather says you have to watch the sequel to Quicksand. She says, "The hell I do."
She's like making a voodoo doll of me right now. That she's like, "Yeah, Heather, I'll teach you to make me watch shitty movies."
Poke out your eyes.
Did you tell her just like Baghead at your wedding that's going to be me and my run?
And then Heather says she's going to dress like Baghead from the movie for the wedding.
She's like, Heather's fucking crazy. She's no longer invited to the wedding.
She says that's fine. We already know how that's gonna end.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to like guide me places. I'm just gonna walk into the walls and stuff. Heather, that's not the way out. Where are you going? Well, I'm excited for M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong's movie, the Stadium one. That
looks fun.
Awesome. Trapped?
Yep, that looks fun. Alien Romulus looks fun.
Fuck yeah. Yep. What else?
Terrifier 3.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Don't Speak. No, wait. Oh, wait.
Okay.
No.
No.
It's us just watching it as found footage getting mad. But we have some other stuff to talk about. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks, Scott and I will find a time to record again, and we'll have less movies to talk about. We'll have like maybe only 10.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully this episode won't take forever for it to come out. We'll see.
Well, let's not get too excited here.
So let's not say hopefully.
Let's keep our expectations mediocre, right? That's how we should do it, right?
Yes.
As always, we are proud members of the Legion Podcast Network, and we are happy to continue to support them on Patreon, even though my last payment bounced because I had to update my credit card. Kevin's like, Heather, I think you listened to our episode where I said, well, Scott's the man, and that's why Kevin talks to him. And he messaged me directly. Kevin, it's okay. I was just kidding. I don't think you're sexist. And we had a lovely chat. He lives in Japan. Isn't that nice? And he likes our banter. A lot of people say they like our banter.
I don't know what's wrong with them.
Oh, I know. They have good taste. That's what I fucking know right there.
Oh, it's because they're like premium podcasters. That's what it is.
They must listen to Dummies of Horror and know what good banter sounds like. And they're like, this is like Dummies from Horror, just not as good. Like, yeah. The uncorked version of Dummies of Horror. Like, if you like them, you might like us.
Exactly.
Okay. So if you're not part of their Patreon, the Legion Podcast Network, then Scott has one question for you.
What, pray tell, are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Join us, please. We're lonely. Oh. Okay, what are you waiting for? Join us.
We should learn how to say that in different languages, and then each time, right?
Should
make us truly an international podcast of choices.
The premium international podcast.
The premium international podcaster choices. Well, thank you everyone for listening. We hope you get a chance to check out some of the movies we recommended. And for the ones that Scott and I didn't agree on, I hope you listen to whoever you like the most. And you either watch it or you don't. You
exactly. You can pick and choose, or you just do them all, whatever you want to do.
You do you at the end of the day. Thank you to all our you do you, boo. Thank you to all our other podcasters who listen to me tease them. I love them all very, very much, and I'm so grateful that we all have this little podcasting community for as long as we keep going, and we're inching towards episode 100.
Yes.
At this point, I don't know. It may not be special. It's just the same old for us, because I don't know if Scott has time to do what I want us to do. Maybe that's something we do in the new year. I don't know. We'll see.
I think I can squeeze the time in for that. We'll see.
This world is just crazy. We don't know when we're going to record. We don't know when Scott's going to edit. Everything is just day by day.
It's true. I'll say, because I am now the wild card, bitches.
That's right. He's the wild family man. He's very wild. His fucking wife has a craft room. That's how wild he is.
Hey, I was so wild. I had a Mike's Hard Lemonade during the day yesterday.
What? The day?
Hardcore right there, Heather.
And that's nuts, Scott. Maybe you start packing to the movie theaters, too. Maybe that's how much wild you could be.
Right? You never know.
Pull out your gun. Be like, I said shut the fuck up.
I'm getting crazy over here. I couldn't know what to expect.
Right? They're like, why does my dad have a gun? This guy looks he's an undercover cop. What's he doing with a gun in the fucking movie theater? Well, I guess cops would have them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they need to like do something about that. If that's a problem with like it's that big of a deal, but I don't know. Maybe something should be done.
You think so? You think so?
They're also scared of the teenage kids. Everyone's scared of the teenage kids, and
right.
This feel of the horror movie coming up. So until next time, kiddies. Oh, that's your line. Whoops.
It works out.
And that's everyone. Thank you for listening. We'll see you whenever we see you, hopefully in a couple of weeks. Hopefully Scott gets us out by the end of the summer. And did you have anything you want to say to the good people, Scotty?
Yes. So, I'll just kind of go off what Heather was saying there. We'll see you when you see it. You'll take what we'll give you. When I decide to release this episode, you'll take it. No, in all honesty, love you all and have a great day and unpleasant dreams.
See you later.